Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. Happy February 1st on the Military Retirement Podcast. I'm your host, John McConnell, and we are here talking about veteran things, veteran issues, getting some comments from folks in the chat. If you're on the live stream with us, feel free to drop some comments in the chat, and we will get to those comments. If you want to let us know where you're hailing from, if you want to give us any call signs you use, any of that stuff, just let us know, and we will get to your questions in the chat. Feel free to drop any questions, anything about anything. If we've got the answers, we'll get the answers to you. If we don't have the answers, we will look them up and try to get into them. So just want to kind of take a notice that we are in February 1st, 1 month into 2026. A little bit interesting. It's already been a month, and it's really gone by pretty quickly, actually. I know a lot of folks out there, maybe in the government space, working for the government currently, or as a civilian, as a military member, looking at things like the budget and what it's looking like, and it looks like it's been temporarily passed and waiting for the second line of votes. Good morning, Jason Biere. Am I saying that right, or Biere, or Biere? Let me know in the chat if I'm saying that right. Good morning, or good afternoon to you. I'm in the morning, or in the afternoon, in the evening. So you guys are in the morning, afternoon time frame. But yeah, looking at the budget, it looks like we're waiting till tomorrow to see what they do, see what happens. I think at the end of the day, just stay calm. Like, there's going to be humps and ups and downs in the government as we progress. The first year in the second Trump administration, it's been a little bit wild. It's been a lot of ups and downs, a lot of things going on. And we just need to keep an eye on it, but don't get too panicky about it. Like, you can start panicking when your paycheck stops, or when the VA funds stop coming in. But it looks like pretty much the VA is going to be covered as far as the budget is concerned. The Department of Homeland Security is going to be covered, I believe, with including the ICE and all that stuff. And depending on how you feel about ICE, neither here nor there. Just looking at the budget itself. But yeah, if you're just joining us, feel free to jump in the comments in the live stream, whether you're watching this on Facebook or on YouTube. Facebook may not be working today, but on YouTube, on LinkedIn, we'd love to have your comments, love to have your questions. We will try to answer as many questions as we can if we have the answers for you. Otherwise, we'll divert and see if we can write it down and check into it. If it's something that's really pressing and it's affecting a lot of people, then a lot of times we'll take a step back and kind of set up and create a video separately, like a 20-minute, 30-minute video, deep diving into a topic. So feel free to drop your call sign in the chat, or let us know where you're hailing from. Love to hear from you. And I apologize if I misread the names. I got the screen way back here with the camera on it, and it's got the little text, and I've got the bad retired eyeballs. So Ahorox, or Ahorox, or Ahorox 162. Hi, welcome to the show. Like I said, if you got questions, just drop them in the comments, and we will get to them in a timely manner. If we can answer them, if we can't, we will definitely try to pull back and see if we can dig up some information and let you know on the next live stream. Just want to let you know a couple things coming up. We got a couple guests scheduled, or at least one guest scheduled so far, and working on a couple other guests. So generally we have some guests on the show if we got any scheduled. If we don't, it's just usually myself or Vic or both of us on here chatting and talking our nonsense to the veteran community, but really just building the community for veterans who are transitioning out of the military, whether you're retiring or you're getting out after a couple of years. We just want to keep you informed with different things, different options that you have, different resources that are available. We like to bring a lot of guests on who have different kinds of nonprofit organizations that are helping veterans, whether that's funding schooling or helping them find jobs or do resume building, resume research, a lot of different things like that. So that's basically what we're trying to do here, is trying to get as much information and much resources as possible. If you go to the channel on YouTube, if you're watching this on YouTube, you can dig through the channel. There's a bunch of stuff in there, whether you're looking for information about VRNE benefits or healthcare or really anything that's concerned with veterans, especially veterans after they leave the service. I guess that's the definition of a veteran, right? But if you're looking in there, you'll find a ton of videos as well, a ton of interviews we've done. We've interviewed folks from the 2 and 3 star level all the way down. Well, not all the way down, but down into the enlisted ranks, interviewed some warrant officers. So we have a smattering of different interviews that we've done with many folks. And yeah, we just got a lot of good information in there. So if you're looking for answers, looking for questions to get answered, you will find a lot of that in there. We try to post as much as we can in the show notes. We try to timestamp the video so that you can skip to a specific part if you need to, or if you're searching on Google, maybe that specific part of that video, that little 5-minute or 10-minute section will pop up and you can check that out. And then if it interests you a lot and you want to get a little bit deeper into it, then you can of course watch the rest of the video or watch them all the way through, however you prefer. Horrocks. Nice. Cool. I hope I said that right. Horrocks. Appreciate you being here. Thank you for everyone's joining. Thank you for making 2025 a really good year for us. Of course, we're not in the 10 million subscribers or anything like that, but we're definitely growing slowly and growing organically. Not trying to bring in a bunch of bots and a bunch of cool, appreciate it. Not trying to bring in a bunch of bots and trying to overflow the channel. I mean, it's great to grow fast, but organically, we build the community very coherently, very tightly. We do have a Facebook group that we operate as well, the Military Retirement Group on Facebook. Just a bunch of great folks, a lot of really good conversations. And again, we screen all the, well, mostly Vic screens all the people on there so that we make sure that we have the right people in the group, that we don't have a bunch of people that don't belong in the group in there, or any kind of like bot accounts or anything like that, doing anything crazy and posting weird stuff. So we try to keep that really tight-knit and closed group. But we want to include all veterans and also military members who are getting to that, 20-year mark, 22-year mark, 25-year mark, close to the 30-year mark. Those who are looking for answers and asking a lot of questions about, what do I do when it comes to retirement? How do I get over that threshold of crossing the line, taking off the uniform and moving into civilian life? So that's really what we're here for. I'm trying to look in here. Oh yeah, so bookings. I just want to see if there's, I know we've got one for sure. Okay, so we've got Joe Michel, who is a CW4, I believe now. He's in the National Guard up in Delaware, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Old Army buddy, getting ready to get close to Title 32 reserve kind of National Guard retirement, that kind of gray area retirement. We had him on the show probably sometime last year, and we talked a lot about gray area retirement. And we're going to be bringing him back on the show. He's been doing a lot of digging because he's getting a lot closer to the finish line. And he's been pulling up a lot of stuff about, how do I buy back my time? How do I maximize the amount of time that I get for my retirement and that kind of stuff? So, because there's a lot of folks in the Title 32 space, whether they're in the reserves or the Air National Guard or just the Army National Guard or whatever, they fall into that Title 32 kind of, yes, I get my 20-year retirement letter, but then what happens after that? Like, you have to wait to a certain period of being 59 or 58 or whatever it is to actually start drawing retirement, as opposed to Title 10 retirement, where you retire at 20 or 25 or however many years you do active duty service. And then you immediately, like about a month or two after you get off of active duty, um, then you get to start drawing that retirement immediately. Yeah, I mean, I would love for you to subscribe if what we're doing is helping you out, or if you want to share this with somebody else, that'd be awesome. Really appreciate that. And yeah, subscribe. Like, I think there's a little bell thing that'll give you the notifications. We try to post it out on as many places as possible, whether it's LinkedIn, Facebook, sometimes on Twitter, formerly Twitter, now X. We have an account on there, and I post a bunch of stuff and repost a bunch of stuff from like the Department of Veterans Affairs and different accounts. So we try to interact as much as possible in those realms, and spend a lot of time in between working, in between going to school, and doing our retirement thing ourselves. We try to spend a lot of time in those realms, posting information, posting up funny stuff. Hi, Jamie. Welcome to the show. I am wearing pants for sure, not shorts. It's a little bit cold still. So I'm in Sicily and it's generally warm. But for a couple months out of the year, it gets a little bit chilly. Not chilly to the point where we have ice storms and snow and all that craziness, but it gets a little cool outside. So definitely pants. I wish I could do a little bit more of I need to get a wider angle camera lens so I can get a little bit of a wider angle so you can see like the waist up and see my hands at all times. I think that's important. That's why I wave my hands around a lot so people can see that I have hands and I'm not an AI bot. But so Joe Michelle, that'll be coming up next Sunday, same time, basically 5 o'clock, and we'll be talking Title 32 gray area retirement stuff with him. Always a great host, great guest on the show, and love spending time with him. So let me check your name real quick. Zevek. This is not the work for me. Yes, I am retired. Retired from the U.S. Army. I did 25 years total. Active duty total was about 20 and some change. And then a few years of reserve time in between. I actually came off of active duty at 6 years. I was in Germany at the time, came off of active duty at 6 years, went immediately into a reserve unit in Germany, which I never knew existed until I got to the point where I got out. Stayed with them for a few years and then eventually picked up my warrant officer packet, got picked up. Oh, thank you. Rue Boots. Welcome to the show. Thank you. Do a parallel. Yeah, so then I got picked up for warrant, and then with the warrant officer thing, it was a weird thing that happened because I was a reservist at the time, a Title 32 reservist. Once I got picked up for warrant, I went to the basic warrant school, and then I came back to Germany, and then immediately was going to do the follow-on warrant officer basic course, and it was about 6 months worth of time back in the States. And so they gave me the option to PCS to do that school. And I said yes. And I took my family at the time with me, and we all PCS back to the States, did my school. And then in that time, got picked up for Active Guard Reserve, or AGR, which is basically Title 10. You're basically an active duty person working in a reserve unit. So that was an option that was afforded to me. And I said, hell yes, let's take that. Let me see if I can whittle away some of this active duty Title 10 time, and basically finished up my time in 2001. Retired in the midst of COVID. It was maybe the end of COVID, but it was really kind of difficult because it was COVID timeframe. A lot of places were still closed. A lot of places were still working remote, not open to the public to do walk-ins and things like that. So tricky with the BDD. It was very, very, very tricky. My VSO was on the base, and I was going back and forth with emails and trying to stay in contact with them. Gave them the paperwork. That didn't really work out as well as I thought it would. So that never really happened. So now I'm doing the kind of catching up on VA stuff, like many of you out there may be doing as well. Not all of us get the BDD process completed and then start drawing our, whatever the percentage may be, 50, 100%. I'm currently at 60. So 60% working on 100. We'll see where it goes. Trying to resolve a lot of musculoskeletal issues and get those documented and get those updated as well. Taking scans, doing things through the local hospital here where I'm at in Sicily, which is outside of the United States, in Italy. And yeah, it's tough, but it's definitely doable. It's just a matter of sticking with it, continuing to request for these exams, continuing to push the paperwork up for the VA to update your VA benefits status. And then, of course, whenever they call for CMP exams, you got to go do those. And I don't know how those actually work here. I've still yet to do one over here, but I'm sure it's going to be very interesting. Hopefully it'll be locally, and hopefully I won't have to go to like Milan or somewhere. But if I have to, that's what I got to do. And the same for folks in the States. If you get stuck with a CMP exam that's like a couple hours away, by all means, if you can make that happen and make it a priority, because it's very important, go ahead and take those exams, take the time, take the extra couple hours to drive there, whatever it takes to get to those CMP exams. Do that. That is one of the most probably top 3 things that you should be doing when you're getting ready to get out of the military. One is taking care of your financial stuff, whether that's whittling down your budget, getting to a zero debt status or close as possible to a zero debt status, and getting all your finances in order, understanding that there's a lot of things that the government pays for that you won't get paid for when you get out of the military, when you go work for a regular job or a regular company. Healthcare is one of those things that costs a lot of money, especially in the States. And you're going to end up paying a ton of money for healthcare that you would otherwise have if you were on active duty. If you get to 100% VA status, then it opens up opportunities for different things, and it kind of eases the burden a little bit. And if you're retired, of course, from the military, you can opt in for TRICARE and have that as one of your healthcare options. That's a lot cheaper than regular healthcare. But the BDD process itself, or the VA process, is one of the top 3 things that I would say is the most important to take care of. Even if you're only getting off after a few years of service, like doing 1 or 2 terms in service, you should most definitely take care of your BDD, and take care of it by going through everything top to bottom, head to toe, every little thing, get everything that's documented, get all your medical records that are documented, and be able to present that and get that processed so that you can get rated at what you're supposed to be rated at. And that amount of money that you get from that rating will potentially help you to pay bills, take care of house payments, car payments, of course, your medical health, taking care of any of the, physical therapy or any of those things that you need to do, and making sure that stuff's taken care of, because it's not going to get better over time. And the longer you wait to process that BDD paperwork, or the longer you wait to get your VA stuff processed, the harder it's going to be. I mean, it's not impossible, but it's definitely a lot easier if you do it before you come off of active duty, while you're still in uniform. If you can do a BDD, benefits delivery of discharge, and that really, really, really helps in a lot of ways, because it makes it so much easier to prove that service connection. It makes it a lot easier to get everything processed. They kind of prioritize BDD over everything else. So they process those a lot faster. Generally, it's, it could be a few days after you get off of active duty, up to a couple months, but it's not like a year or 2 years waiting for a VA, a VA representative to process your claim and go through and approve your claim. Like that process takes a long time. If you do the BDD process, it's really rather quickly, relatively speaking. So for sure, if you're coming off of active duty, take care of your finances, understand the benefits that you're getting paid for now in uniform that you're not going to get paid for out of uniform. And then that VA process thing, those three things should be top on your mind whenever you're thinking about coming off of active duty, whether you're retiring or not. And then, of course, you got to figure out where you're going to stay, meaning where you're going to relocate to if you use that PCS, or if you don't. Your job as well. Of course, you got to look for jobs and do all the USA jobs or wherever you're trying to apply for. If you're going back into the government as a civilian, if you're going in as a contractor, if you're just going out into the public sector to do things with some other company, those kind of tie in together, relocation and job thing. And then, of course, just taking a step back, taking a break, finding your rhythm again, because it's like coming back from deployment. If you've been on deployment before, if you've been to the sandbox or anywhere else deployed, and you come back, there's that time period where you have to reintegrate. And usually it varies from service to service, but of course it takes time. And usually they allocate, a few months to a year for reintegration training, not just yourself, but your family members as well, getting reorganized at home and reintegrating your life back into normal life in uniform. So the getting out of the service or retiring is it's really similar to that, because you're going from an environment where everything's kind of structured and you've got specific things that you know what you're supposed to do and your mission is, to being out in a world where you're free to do whatever you want, right? You're in control of your destiny, basically, at that point. So figuring out jobs and finding all that stuff out, it's really important and that's why we do this. We do this so that we can get as much valuable information into your hands as possible. We want you to succeed. We want you to be able to have the things that we felt that we missed out on, or we felt that weren't available or weren't readily in front of our face, even after going through the TAP process of information of what we needed to be successful coming out, whatever that definition of success is for you specifically. So I keep looking at this comment, and it's the same guy. I just read it a little while ago, but is this the work, or are you retired? Yeah, I wish this was the work. I wish this is what I did full time. I really aspired to try to do it full time, but it hasn't gotten to that point. If it ever does get to that point, I will certainly be doing this full time. I know Vic is about at the point where it's full time for him. He's doing a lot of live streams. He does 2 or 3 a week outside of this Sunday live stream that we do, and outside of the regular interviews that we do with folks. He's going to start doing some traveling this year. So he's going to be traveling to Virginia and some other places to shoot some videos and get some information, kind of like what we do here, but in person with some people on the ground. So until I can get to the point where that's full time for me, it's just remote for me at this moment in time. But like I said, Joe, Michelle, if you are Title 32 coming off of Title 32 orders, retiring from the reserves, the National Guard, Air National Guard, whatever that happens to be, he'll be on next Sunday. And very smart dude. He's a warrant officer, so he's a nerd, and he's totally nerded out about Title 32 benefits and what all that Title 32 retirement entails. I could put these on the screen, right? So let me go back and let me backtrack real quick. We'll just throw up some shout outs. I should have been doing this from the beginning, but a little bit solo today. So a little high there, a little high there. Hello to you. Thank you for coming on the show. Appreciate it. Love having you here. This one kind of funny. Are you wearing shorts or pants? It is pants. Do a barrel roll. Can't do a barrel roll at this time. I could spin around in my chair, but I'd probably choke myself with my with my headphone cords. So don't want to really do that. This is my favorite comment so far that I've seen. Work. No, I wish it was. And what else we got here? Okay, so this one. Transition out of the military was extremely difficult. I did TAPS, updated my resume, practiced my interview skills, and still could not find a job in the field I desired. Let me pause for one quick second, take a drink. Because this conversation might get long for this specific comment. And I love that you, Miguel, I love that you putting that out there. And that's also part of it, right? Just being transparent with people, trying to be a little bit more honest and open. And that's what we love. A lot of these conversations that we have when we have guests on as well, we get kind of honest and open about things. We try not to keep it too, we make it long form so that we allow people the space to actually talk, whether you want to watch it at 2x or you want to skip through it or whatever. That's fine. It's totally your prerogative. We appreciate you being here either way, but we like to spend the time, whether that takes 20 minutes or an hour or 2 hours, and actually dig into and peel back the onion and understand some of these things on a deeper level so that we can gain some knowledge from it. So I just want to dig into this last part of this comment real quick, specifically about jobs. So when I came off of active duty, I had every intention of having things lined up, whether it was a couple of jobs that I was looking at, working for a startup. I came out of active duty doing heavy duty cybersecurity, IT stuff, been doing it my whole life, basically. And very credentialed. I have a lot of certifications and blah, blah, blah. I've got all the skill sets and the requirements and the prerequisites to be a great cyber security expert or technician in the IT field. You would think with that kind of background and that kind of experience and that many years of experience and seeing things, if you've been in the IT field or if you know somebody in the IT field, like we see a lot of stuff. Technology changes every single day. I mean, if you look at just AI within the last 6 months has drastically changed from like July of last year when you were using ChatGPT or whatever it is, you happen to use Gemini, whatever it is, till today. It's drastically changed. So give me 2 seconds. Huh. Strange. Same. To create one. Sorry, my co-host. We had some conflict. We crossed the streams. So maybe he'll jump in here. But job stuff. I thought I was very poised and ready to go into the job market. I was ready to continue doing IT stuff. And I was applying and applying and applying. This was like a year before, 6 months before I got off active duty. And I did a lot of LinkedIn networking. I contacted a lot of folks. I was lining a lot of things up and trying to grease the skids so that I could immediately come off active duty and immediately start a job. And my criteria for that job was, in most cases, was trying to work remote if I could. There he is. Green logbook. Hopefully they'll be here in a sec. We'll see. Vic, maybe if you're listening, jump out of StreamYard, jump back in, or maybe refresh it. You should see the thing. I didn't see a thing up there, so I just created a new one and kicked the pig, as we say. So if you want to jump in, come on in. The water's fine. I'm here for you. Yeah, so I positioned myself to be ready for. I think I'm going to stick over here if that's all right. Yeah, I didn't see it. So double streaming. Well, what's better? Should I stream over here? Should I jump off and go over there? I want to answer this question real quick, and then I'll hop off of here and I'll point everybody to the other stream, and that way we can link up. But just indulge me for a few seconds. So I had thought that I had poised myself, and I was ready to enter the job market. That never happened. I applied for hundreds of jobs on USA Jobs as well as other different places, and I it was a gift and a curse. I kind of cursed myself up front where I told myself like, "Yeah, I really don't wanna work. Like, I just don't wanna work. I wanna be able to live off my retirement, be comfortable with that." I've set myself up, so I've paid down my bills, and I've got money saved up, and, the money that I get from retirement is enough. I wasn't even getting VA at the time. I didn't start getting VA benefits till about 2 years ago. Yeah, about 2 years ago is when I first started getting VA benefits to begin with. So but my criteria was I wanted to be on, a remote work type of situation, and I wanted to relocate to Sicily. That was my intent. However that worked, whether that was a government job, a civilian job, didn't matter. My criteria was my criteria, and because of that criteria, as well as the job kind of hunting and job hiring process being so complicated and so lengthy in a lot of cases, that didn't happen. So I spent the first 3 years retired without a job, 0 job. I was doing some freelance work on my own. I was working with a nonprofit, now sitting on the board of directors for, the Signal and Cyber Core Museum in Augusta, Georgia. So I was working with them voluntarily, then I jumped on and did some freelance work with them, and then I came onto the board. But even then, like, that doesn't pay me money. That's not a paid job. Um, that's just work that I enjoy doing. And that's the thing that I'll kind of say here is like if you enjoy something or you found something you enjoy, even if it's not paying you money, if you can make it happen, if you can pay the bills still and be able to do that, I would say go 100% in on that if you can. And the reason why I say that, and it's not going to work out all the time, right? It's not going to be successful all the time. You got to have a little bit of business savvy. You got to understand finances. You got to understand how bookkeeping works and like marketing and all that stuff. But if you can do what you love and what you truly enjoy, um, please try to do that as much as possible, even if it's nights and weekends and you're working a regular job in between Monday through Friday. Try to go in on that because longevity wise, that kind of job where you're really enjoy what you're doing and you're doing it for the love of the thing is going to keep you going longer than just say a regular 9 to 5 blue collar or white collar job, something that you dived into because you happen to have experience behind you and it pays good, like all those reasons for me weren't reasons to just jump at anything. So I kind of jinxed myself at the beginning as well, but I also did apply for hundreds and hundreds of jobs and didn't get picked up for any of them. Interviewed for a bunch of them, just it didn't happen. And I've practiced interviewing. That's part of why I do this as well, is to get better at talking to people, talking to a camera, having weird conversations and strange pauses in the conversation, just to train myself to get better at speaking. But keep pushing for it, I would say. If you need to take something in the interim, and by all means feel free to. But I would say if you have a passion project or something you're really, really, really passionate about, and the only thing that's holding you back is the getting paid part of it, like then it's probably not a passion project. But I would go ahead and do that as much as possible if you can, because that's going to be more sustaining for you, for your life. Once it starts picking up and once you start selling your product or selling your service or whatever it happens to be, it'll balance itself out. Trust me. All right. Let me find the link to the other stream real quick. And then I will drop it in the chat. And let's see. Maybe my internet's broke. Maybe that's what's happening. But I wanted to, I'll hop off of here and jump back onto the other one, if I can find it. And I'll let you folks hop over there as well. Double streaming, confusing the old people. Nice. Okay, so veteran talk, and where's the other one? Let's go the green logbook. I'm streaming on both. All right, so let's go to the channel homepage. This is the beauty of doing things live on a Sunday. Sometimes. Veteran Talk 1 Feb, Veteran Talk 1 Feb. Okay, Veteran Talk 1 watching. All right, cool. Let me get the link to this real quick for you, and I'll jump over there with Vic. Stop confusing people. All right, and let me kill that for a second. So if you're watching, paying attention right now, I'm going to drop a link in the chat right now, and this is the link to the other video, the other live stream that's happening right now, where we had mixed signals and conflicts. But that's where I'm going to hop off. I appreciate everybody who popped on here. Thank you very much for being here. Like I said, we're here for you guys and girls. We're here to help you get the benefits you deserve, to find the benefits that you're looking for, to get educated, to get healthcare, to figure out finances. By the way, PS, if you don't know MVMT Financial, if you look them up online, they are a sponsor of our show. And Josh has been on the show many times. He's going to be on again coming up soon. But check out MVMT Financial if you're trying to figure out financial stuff, if you want to figure out how to align your savings, align your investments, figure out healthcare and life insurance and all those weird things that we got to have an expert to do. Josh is certainly an expert. He knows what he's doing. He's a veteran himself, Army veteran, retired, and him and his wife are doing really good things. They're supporting the show, and we're supporting them as well. So if you need to figure out financial stuff, just go find MVMT Financial. Go give Josh a call. Find him on LinkedIn. Reach out to him. The consult is free. He's not going to charge you for, connecting and talking to him for a few minutes and trying to figure out basically what you're looking for. But go check them out. If you look at the link in the description there, I wish I could pin it, but I can't pin it from here. That's where I'm going to hop off and go to and hang out with Vic. So I will see you over there in a few minutes out here.